Hi, I'm Dick Bolles. I'm the author of the book, What Color is Your Parachute? I want to talk today about what I've learned in life. I first wrote Parachute when I was 43 years old. I've rewritten the book every single year. I mean rewritten the book every single year since. Now I'm 85 years old. The question is, Dick, what did you learn in those intervening years? And what I learned is we need to pay more attention to what it is we're looking for in life. In this age, it's often called the information age. We think we're looking for information. And we say, I'm an information expert. That is true if you have developed an ability to analyze two things about information. Information has its sounds and it has its silences. Normally we say, oh, I've mastered information because I know all the sounds. I pay attention to the statistics. I pay attention to the words and so on. But there's silences. For example, if you eat broccoli, you will live twice as long as people who do not eat broccoli. What's the silence in that sentence? You don't know how long people live who don't eat broccoli. So it makes a difference to listen. If you're going to be a master of information in this age, you have to listen for the silences that are in the middle of the information or the sounds that you're hearing. But as we get older, we become dissatisfied with just knowing information. We want it more like knowledges. So we graduate from a passion for information to a passion for knowledges. In knowledges, two new characteristics rear their head. The first is knowledge is information with all that characteristics that I mentioned, but it's information that's now organized. Knowledges are always organized information, like how to drive a car. You have a driver's manual. It organizes all the things you might want to know about the brakes, about the accelerator, and the trunk and the motor. And the other characteristic of knowledge is that it's applied. It makes a practical difference. If you've mastered the knowledge that's in your driver's manual, you now can apply it when you're out on the road. As we get older, we become a little dissatisfied with merely picking up knowledges, even though they're more elegant than just dots of information. And we start to hunger for something else, and that is wisdom. And wisdom has two characteristics in addition to the two of knowledge and the two characteristics of information. Wisdom has the virtue of weight and context. That is to say, I'm getting wiser, you are getting wiser if you start to put things in a larger and larger context, what we call the big picture. You draw back. Let's pretend you're a photographer. You don't just photograph the object right in front of you. You draw back so everyone can see what is all around the object you are photographing. That makes a big difference. So context often helps you to understand things. Weight is another consideration. Things happen. Things you learn, things that happen to you, you start to give them weight when you acquire wisdom. You start to say, this is more important than that. I knew a man who had prostate operation. He was told it would not affect his sex life or his going to the bathroom, and it did affect both dramatically. And he complained to me year after year. He lived across the country and we'd talk occasionally on the phone. He'd complain year after year and he'd say, oh, this is so terrible that this happened to me. Then one day, wisdom struck. He called me on the phone. He told me he was working on a new book. He was so excited. I said, what happened to all those symptoms? They went away? He said, oh no, they're still here. I've just learned not to give them so much weight. That's the mark of wisdom. So therefore we have be good in understanding sounds when you're young. Be good at understanding where the silences are as you get older. Then graduate to a thirst for knowledge, which organizes all this information and applies it. And finally, as you move on in years, hunger for wisdom, where you put everything in a larger context to better understand it, and where you try to give weight to what is important in your life and what is not. This is the search I think all of us go through. I've just talked about mine.